rooting for them as much as we undercut it in every moment. It's still, I was like, I love these two. And I also remember it was so hot. It was like, anyway. So let's take questions, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, I'll be leading the questions if that's all right. First of all, thank you all for joining us. I hope you had as much fun watching it. You all watched the movie again. You're all in the audience, so thank you. David, I want to start with you going back to your introduction where you were talking about the beginning stages of writing this, road tripping, your love of romantic comedies. Please expand on that a little bit, of the idea where this film came from and then writing it into a script.
I mean, yeah, Michael and I just always, with no irony, loved all the great romantic comedies and talk about them all the time. And then when we had done Wet Hot American Summer, we were thinking about what to do next. This was a clear, obvious idea. It became, in our minds, more than just a comedy. We knew we were going to want to make it sort of a spoof airplane of romantic comedies, but then, then of course it just sort of morphed into something, whatever it is, over time.
But then you bring in, obviously, some of the greatest comedians of our time to work on it.
So happy about it.
And then I'm just been curious about, so say taking that script and then going, I need to start with casting this. Where did that begin for you?
Well, actually, the script didn't get made for a really long time.
Right. Because Wet Hot American Summer came out in 2001. This
right.
came out in 2014.
We wrote this like 2003.
Okay.
And it didn't get made, and we basically for years it was so annoying. Like anytime I'd have a meeting with anyone, I'd be like, "Well, I have this script that I still want to make," and I just always thought about it and thought it was funny, and nothing ever happened. And then Michael and I went to San Francisco Sketch Fest one year, and just for something to do for fun, we had a table read of the script.
Okay.
Sam, you playing Molly?
No. I found the script again and said you should make it.
She found the script again and said I should make it. I don't remember And then we did it, and then afterwards, Amy and Paul, who were both there, were just like, let's make this movie. And of course, it was like, okay, and that's what got our momentum back to do it. We found great producers, and we did it.
So Amy, you were at Sketchfest when to complete that story? Or?
I'm not sure.
They were both at that
Don't
meeting.
remember, but I think yes. And didn't you make it for? Was it $1 million?
It was like definitely like free.
It was really cheap.
Yeah.
And we made it in like 20 days or something.
Very, very fast, all in like a 3-block radius of Brooklyn, like 80% of it.
Yeah.
And every trip, I remembered all the things we did. Like we had like 3 locations and just kept different walls.
And I remember we only did 1 or 2 takes
Yeah.
of almost everything. It was just we had to get so much done.
We didn't, and I made the sort of weird decision to shoot a lot of it with just 1 camera, which is not really what we do with comedies. So it was crazy and so hot.
Now I'm remembering how hot it was. It was so hot in every location. And you can see through the film, Paul, of course, looks incredible throughout, but you can really tell in my hair and face.
Everyone's hair is like a little moist from the.
I thought my hair looked great.
This incredible parody, where do you even start with each one of them? We'll start with you, Ed. Rick, you guys had no fun on set, I know it. Yeah, where do you even begin when you get a script like this? Like, what do you tap into to create your character?
Well, it's all on the page. That's really my Bible.
Yeah.
And did I read the script? No, I didn't. But It's so funny, and because a few of us have been joking about how fleeting this memory was. It was so fast. That's I remember going to New York for like a day, and then I was gone, and that was my experience of the.
I do think we were in that office and we're like, okay, that's great. Now let's go to the restaurant. Like,
Change the scarf.
Oh my God, the scarves. It's so funny. And there were so many, the costume direction, all the crafts people that did such incredible work on this was a blast. I was laughing so hard. Anyway, someone else talk. Say.
Yeah, how's the mic set? Kobe, what's for you? Do you remember anything about this set?
Yeah, there are some things, and watching this, I was really hoping that people thought I was one of the people having sex in the and I remember, I was like, oh my God, that looks great. Did I do that? And then I remember, David, it was like a married acrobatic great. Yeah, that just came in and did it, but I was like, maybe people think it's me. I'm excited about that. Yeah, so I remember that. I remember that day.
Yeah. Anyone else? Three?
I love doing spoofs.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
This one was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just talk about some of my favorite scenes, like the brother fight is one of my favorite scenes. I remember seeing that when it first came out, and then watching it again as it started. I was like, oh yeah, give it to me. And it's just sort of the perfect,
That's a high compliment.
Do you remember shooting that scene?
You remember it.
Do you remember shooting that scene?
Yeah, I still feel like that was the peak for me. I think it was like the first season of New Girl, and then this was really kind of like my first movie. And I had a much different experience. Like I came on, and oh my God, these are all my heroes. David, the State guys, and Showell, everybody. And I remember that you took me aside the first day, and you were like, "We're really happy that you're here." And I remember like, "That's it. It's over for me." And I had such a wonderful experience on this. And like that scene, I remember finishing that scene and calling my wife Tess and being like this. I don't know where I go from here.
I was struck how every moment of the movie is in quotes. Like, there's not a single actual anything. I love it so much.
Also, I just want to say that I forgot that the grandma. I remember that.
And Bill Hader and Ellie Kemper are so great the way they react. I'm not taking credit because they all did it. I just watched it happen.
There was one take where at the end when they thanked me for alerting them to the ex-husband coming,
Yes.
that oh God, what's his name? No.
George Clooney. Harry Dean
His
Stanton.
hands
Who?
grabbed me and kissed me. So funny because it's so random. Like, I getting shot and her making
That is also another favorite scene of mine, Chris Maloney shitting
Which is inspired by something that actually happened to Michael Showalter at summer camp.
I will say this, it did feel like a precursor to Tim Robbins' sketches. Doesn't it?
You mean Tim Robbins?
Yeah. Like the whole, like that, is that who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like, I was like, it felt trippy, because I was watching that before he did that.
story that happened to Michael Showalter, which we then also recreated in Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later. It's a lot of, we love our referencing on it.
Maloney makes everything real good.
Well, also our lead, playing Molly, makes everything really good too. I'd love to hear Amy. I just want to know how, again, you approached this character. It seemed like it was so fun.
It was so fun.
And then, what is it like being on a David Wayne set where you're kind of playing the lead character, meddling around in every one of these scenes?
When I was watching it, I was like David, so moved actually by it, because it was long ago, but it felt just like also not long ago at all. And I was working with people in that movie that I still work with and love to work with and had worked with before. And David cast me in Wet Hot American Summer 10 years before that or longer, and met so many people in that movie. And every time I get to do a movie with you, David, it's always kind of this fast-moving party train. And that movie was definitely that too. I did no research or prep on my character at all, and I forgot her name. And I was like, oh, her name was Molly. And it's hard to watch because I wished I had made different choices.
Your choices were great.
Okay, thanks. But not fishing. So I just remember that we shot it really fast. Yeah, it was a blast. It was so dumb. Dumb and fun in the best way, and totally freeing to do something where you're just like everyone's going for the joke and then moving on.
But also so committed.
Yeah, Paul and I we played it as real as we could. We really tried to be, and Paul is so good in it. Like, he's so that type of guy. When I forgot about the reveal of the shitty coffee shop sign. And everyone was like, yeah! And Paul's face. Dumb. He's so perfect. He's so good. And I forgot all about all that. Michael Ian Black, I forgot his character. Grabbing the open bowl of
On the rubber bowl. I just wanted to also point out our editor, Jamie, is here. Our two composers, Greg and Matt. And then, is that here too? Maybe? Yes, he is? No. Maybe not. Anyway, there are lots of great people working on who are not here, so it's fun.
Well, we talked about a little bit of casting, but you want to talk about New York? You want to talk about casting in New York?
It really was almost like
Yes, that scene with Nora Jones. It's such a Where did that come from?
How did you get her? How did you get Judge Judy?
I think we just reached out to her and was like, will you do this?
And she knew what line she had to say? Because when she said that, I was like, well, okay, they got her. And then she said that?
Right. Yeah. And she said, there was other scenes too. There was so much we shot that's not a movie, so much. But there was other scenes with them speed walking or something. I forget what the joke was. Yeah. There's so many deleted scenes. Yeah.
Are they available anywhere?
So, I don't know.
Maybe they're on a Blu-ray.
If you don't know, how am I going to find
They're
out?
on They're definitely on a Blu-ray that you can rent at Vidiots.
There you go.
And I would probably post some this week online.
Take us back though to actually really interested about this really incredible interstitial scene with Nora Jones.
Again, I mean, really the answer to how we came up with any scene was like, oh, there should be this, right? And just like trying to shove in everything that could ever have anything to do with a rom-com.
I think I remember calling Adam Scott and asking him, yeah, so I feel like I got Adam Scott.
I don't remember. I honestly don't. Maybe like Adam Scott was like, oh, I saw John Stamos at a thing last night. Did you want to come?
I never gonna give him a character name. It was just John Stamos.
That was the best part of the movie. It was the shit, like being the lowest man on the totem pole in this movie and watching that kind of shit happen all over there. My favorite part of the whole thing, I called David today and I said, oh man, I'm really excited to see Joe tonight, the Trulio. And David goes, Joe's not in the movie. And I said, he's not? No. And it then dawned on me, he was supposed to play Tucker's dad. And there was a whole thing like, who's gonna play Tucker's dad? Because we lost Joe. And then somehow Michael Shannon plays Tucker's dad. But the best part is that Joe Latrulio got replaced in this movie by Michael Shannon because Joe was busy on the Terrence Malick film.
I will say this also. And the nature of our movie that we made was, I had never met or spoken to Michael Shannon. Paul had come to play with him. He said he's willing to come, but he can only come for like an hour, 2 o'clock. And I was like, great. We'll make it work. That was everything.
And when he showed up and he started performing, everyone was like, wow, he's a really good actor.
I met him. I said, hello, I'm David. Thank you for doing this. And action. And then he did that scene. He was there for less than an hour, for sure. And off he went.
Okay, so we're never going to find out how Nora Jones came together. I love this. Okay, so because we're going to have to wrap up, and I know this is sorry we're having the best time ever. But we're a repertory house, and this is going to sound so lame now. I'm like, well, we all come together for these types of things, and we see films that are now 10 years old. I'm just even older. I'm so curious what it's like for each one of you to revisit this film 10 years later. Who wants to start?
It's great. It's always it's so wonderful to see something you shot so long ago and you forgot all the nuances of it and all the jokes and what you did in it, what everybody else did in it. And it's fun to watch it with an audience and feel that wave of laughter throughout and like be like, oh right, this joke is coming. It's a wonderful experience to kind of experience with all of you. And so we all thank you for that, and that's my answer to you.
I just feel so lucky. I just feel so lucky to be here with you guys, and just awesome to watch something that 10 years went by just went by.
Yeah, it's so much funnier than I remembered. I remember having so much fun, and I had a blast, but I was like cackling. I really loved it, so it was wonderful to see it with an audience. Yeah, it's a whole other experience, so thank you.
It's so sad to just interjectionally, it's so sad that comedies are made and aren't shown in front of theater audiences at all. Yeah.
We rile each other up. I think that's what's really interesting, right? It's
Completely.
like, you guys get louder and louder.
One experience that doesn't even overlap the other. It's
Well, I also laughed so hard at so many parts of this movie, and it really stirred a lot of nostalgia for me for that time, I think, in my life and my career, and sort of having being so psyched to do opportunities like this, and to be on a set where I think Amy, you were saying like everyone's just going for the joke so hard, and you're all in on the comedy. It is such a rare and beautiful thing, and I'm so proud to be a part of this incredibly dumb movie. Truly, it's great.
I remember we were shooting that scene like on the Brooklyn Pier or whatever, and Michael Shannon was sitting in like alone in the center, and he was spinning a sword. And I said to Amy, I go, I'm gonna go try to do a bit with Michael Shannon. And Amy just looked at me and went, I wouldn't. It didn't go well.
I'll just echo what everyone else said, and I think the thing about making something, making art, is when you revisit it, you remember how you felt when you were making it. It's like you don't really necessarily remember the details of things or the jokes or so much of this movie I didn't remember. But the feeling of making it, what came back, and that is like, to me, as I get older, I realize like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the journey, not the destination, and so I felt so lucky that I was part of it, and the feeling when I made it, and that it came back. So thank you for bringing that back for all of us. Really.
Doesn't feel like that long ago, but my kids were like 2 and 5, and now they're way taller than I am, and here tonight to I think my older son saw the film, but this is the first time my younger son saw the film, and I saw him laughing.
He was laughing, I know he was.
And also,
He was most impressed that there were people from The Office in it. That was
no, they don't think we're cool at all. It's just so nice to see this with an audience and to just be enjoying the silliness of it and not think about heavy things for a couple of hours. So, and thank you so much for, being a part of it.
My only closing thought is in theme with what everyone's saying here, which is that I realized somewhere in my going along here that the main reason I love doing this, probably more than, it's less that I have something to say, and it's more that I love to interact with and collaborate with other people. And I feel that way from having an idea all the way to tonight watching something, and it's so beautiful. And I just felt that tonight with the communal act of watching and all of us laughing. It just was beautiful. I loved it so much.
Can I say one more thing? Honestly, we're all saying how dumb it is and how stupid and silly and how we're all giggling about it. But you and Showalter worked so hard to make that movie what it was, and it takes so much work. I've grown up with you, and I know how much blood, sweat, and tears. Something so beautifully stupid and just wonderful, and it's not easy to do, and we all really just appreciate it, and so thank you.
One more round of applause for this. Exit the theater. I know you can do that. You can follow instructions. And you can please take out your trash when you go. That would be great.